walking desperate to common criminals. So you're having visions at this flight.
Hey guys, what's going on? So I am a huge fan of the Dior Privées, if you know from watching my channel. Love most of them. I have Bois d'Argent, which I think is a complete masterpiece. I have Leather Oud, which is a controversial fragrance. Some people actually hate it. I love it. I know that it has that civet note, so it kind of brings up a barnyard kind of vibe, but once you get past that, I think that's one of the things that make it so special is that animalic scent. It reminds me of like lions. If you've ever been to the zoo in the summer when it's hot and they're laying there sleeping and that smell that wafts up from their fur, that's kind of what it reminds me of with the beautiful leather accord. I love their vetiver. What they were missing was a gourmand. So when they came out with Fève Délicieuse in 2015, it was one of the things I asked for Christmas and got it as a Christmas gift. So that's what I'm going to be taking a look at today. They were missing the gourmand aspect to the Privée line, and I think they've added it and done a beautiful job with it. So as the packaging goes, this is the actual bottle in the box. I love their packaging. It has like almost like a foam insert that holds the bottle. This one is the smaller size. It's a kind of a pale brown, almost pink tinge color to the fragrance. Love the packaging, love the bottle. It's so simple, classic, elegant. It's got the magnetic top on, which I think is awesome. It just holds there. It's a magnet, kind of a lock. So this is not a gourmand in the traditional sense of the word. If you're looking for something that is completely over the top foodie, as in like vanilla, cookies, chocolate, this isn't it. This is what I would say is a subdued gourmand. It's almost like an Oriental gourmand mix, in my opinion, and I think that's due to the fact that it's so expertly blended by perfumier François Desmarchais. It's incredible. What you would think from reading the note breakdown, because it contains a lot of tonka, vanilla notes, cocoa notes, praline, what you would think is that it's going to be an over-the-top foodie kind of gourmand fragrance, like you're wearing a candy shop on your body, and that's not the case with this at all. So if you're expecting an over-the-top strictly foodie gourmand, this is one that you would want to sample before purchasing, because it's so well blended that the notes in it kind of lower the gourmand status, so it's bearable and tolerable. Not only tolerable but beautiful, in that it's so much more than your classic typical gourmand. Okay, so let's spray a little and talk about the note breakdown. So this thing is, as far as longevity goes, it is a beast. It lasts on me, at least maybe this is just my body type, but it lasts, I would say, for a good 12 hours. And even the next morning I can still get traces of it. As far as projection goes, I wouldn't say that, I would be careful with the sprays, but I wouldn't say you're going to gas people out with it. It doesn't project a huge long way, but it stays within that cloud of your personal space, so I would say moderate, decent projection on it for sure. But an initial spray, you get that faint hint of like a roasted nut accord, but it's also mixed, I would say, with a little bit of almost like a cinnamony cardamom smell, and there's a green accord that comes into play in the background that kind of subdues the nutty smell of it. Once you get into it a little bit more, I would say about 15 minutes in, the chocolatey note intensifies, and that's where you get the feeling like you're almost walking into a shop that sells, I would say, like fudge, nuts, candy, praline. But I'm not talking about over-the-top sweetness here. The thing that's beautiful about this is there is a bitter quality to it that makes all of those sweeter notes palatable, and doesn't go into the point of being sicky sweet to me. What I really get is you go in from the top into the mid notes is coumarin, which is one of the big components of tonka, and it's like a hay vibe. So almost like you're walking along, I would say, like a field that has fresh cut hay. So you get like a woody kind of a hay note in there, and it kind of almost reminds me of Chourgui by Serge Lutens, that kind of open field in the fall at the time of harvest, like corn shocks and hay that come into play and mingle beautifully with like the tonka and the vanilla. So this isn't like an over-the-top vanilla accord like Vanilla de Madagascar. It's got the Madagascan vanilla, but it's blended with a bitter cocoa and a hay note that tempers the gourmand aspect of it, and it's subtle and beautiful. So you get those elements of like foodie fragrance. I would say it's like a milky, semi-sweet, like a dark bitter chocolate smell, a little bit of caramel, a little bit of roasted almond, but at the same time a lush greenness and kind of a floral vibe. Occasions that I would wear this for, I would say, if you're more of a seasonal fragrance person, which I'm not, I wear anything at any time. I love it in the summer just because it kind of, when your skin warms, it magnifies the oriental vibe that you get. But I would say it's a fall winter fragrance for most people. I could definitely see it as a date fragrance. I could see it like as an evening out fragrance. I think it's probably a bit heavy for work time. I would say daytime. I see it more as an evening fragrance. It's very warm, enveloping. I could see wearing this, you know, like sitting next to a fire in a big sweater, for instance. It's just a beautiful, I hesitate to even call this a gourmand because it elevates the whole gourmand genre to something that's completely different. It's not that 1-2 punch of like Spiritus Double Vanille or some of the more foodie type gourmand fragrances. There's so many more facets to this and more layers to it than what comes up with a strict gourmand. I think it's in a whole class of its own, honestly. Even for people that don't necessarily like gourmand or sweet or food or booze type fragrances, there's so much more to this. It's almost like an incredibly compelling, beautifully blended Oriental, in my opinion, and could set in a class by its own as far as away from other gourmands. There's a boozy note to it, almost like a rum or a brandy or a bourbon. There's a smoky accord, so a little bit of wood smoke, definitely, just mixed in with a green herbal note, maybe anise, cardamom, and then the beautiful foodie smells that come into play that are mixed with it. It's not. I feel like some of the gourmands try to veer in that direction, and that they try to get away from the ultra sweetness by introducing an herbal or a floral accord to some success. So New Harlem by Bond is one where they mix that like syrupy pancake kind of note with a floral. In that case, it seems like lavender, with mixed results. It just seems like the lavender lays on top like somebody threw it in there, whereas with this one, the herbal notes and the plant notes and the bitter notes are so beautifully blended that they just merge with the rest of the food type smells to bring it into another level. So if any of that makes any sense at all, it's a hard fragrance to describe because it is so well blended and so complex. I would definitely, though, get a sample of it if you're into those kind of fall, nutty food type aromas, and also if you're a fan of Orientals. So until next time, take care. Have a good day.